this edition of Back in History, we bring to you the story of the gruesome assassination of Alfred Rewane at his residence in Lagos State, Nigeria. Alfred Rewane was a foremost businessman, politician, and rights activist. He was from Delta State of Nigeria, but lived the better part of his life in Lagos. Welcome to this edition of Back in History. MKO Abiola was the candidate with the highest number of votes at the 1993 presidential election, which was conducted in Nigeria during the regime of General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida. He was coasting home to victory and may have dusted his speech to make a nationwide broadcast, accepting the victory, but the unthinkable happened. The election was annulled by the military junta even before the final result was announced. This action by the military gave birth to hundreds of activists across the length and breadth of Nigeria. These activists mounted pressure on the military to jettison their decision and allow the electoral body to formally pronounce Abiola as the winner of the election and duly elected president of Nigeria. Several groups were formed to drive the agitation to a wider audience at home and abroad. Prominent among these groups was a group known as NADECO, meaning National Democratic Coalition. NADECO was all out for the restoration of Abiola's mandates and for the return of democracy to Nigeria. They initially operated openly, but when their members were confronted by the military and some arrested and detained, most of the members went into hiding within the country and others fled abroad, but the agitation and mission of NADECO remained undaunted. It can rightly be said that NADECO was a thorn on the flesh of the military junta between 1993, when Babangida was rounding off his regime, up to 1997, when Sani Abacha was in power. One of the major financiers of NADECO was Alfred Rewane. Alfred Rewane was a rich businessman with business concerns in Lagos and Delta states. He also had interest in politics and was an active member of Chief Obafemi Awolowo's action group back in the days. Like most Nigerians, Rewane was pained by the unwarranted annulment of the June 12 election, which was considered to be the freest election in Nigeria and which was believed to have been won by Chief MKO Abiola. Rewane, aged 75 at the time of his death, wanted the restoration of the mandate to its rightful winner. But while the other advocates of NADECO operated from hiding, and some from abroad where they had escaped to, Alfred Rewane refused to leave the country nor go into hiding. He made his voice heard and remained in Lagos State, Nigeria. His residence was a major meeting venue. As stated earlier, he was also a known financier of the NADECO project. Unknown to Rewane, the assassin's bullets were tracing his home, and very soon, and very unfortunately, his home would be located and a huge damage done to his life. On Friday 6th October 1995, the unexpected happened. It was in the morning, between the hours of 8:15 and 8:30 a.m. A Peugeot 504 saloon car stopped at the front of Rewane's home at number 100 Oduduwa Crescent, GRA, Ikeja, Lagos State, Nigeria. 5 men alighted from the car with their weapons neatly hidden in their clothes. They met the gate man and told him that they came to see the landlord to deliver an important message from Live Flour Mill, Sapele. They brought out a document and showed it to the gate man. Rewane was the owner of the multi-billion naira live flour mill Sapele in Delta State, the home state of the sage. So, on the mention of the name of the company, the gate man perhaps had no reason whatsoever to suspect any evil. He innocently opened the gate for the 5 men to go into the compound. Unknown to him, he just opened the gate for assassins whose target was the life of his master. The gate man will get to realize this in no time. As the 5 men entered the compound and walked closer to the main building, they saw a domestic staff of Rewane by the entrance to the staircase and informed the staff that they had a message for Rewane. The staff then climbed the staircase to go and notify Rewane, who was in his bedroom upstairs, that he had visitors. As the staff began climbing, 2 of the 5 men went up with the staff. They entered Rewane's bedroom and immediately pumped bullets into his body. That was the end of Rewane's life. The bullets were too hot and poisonous. The range was too close for survival. The assassins were on a mission to kill him. Indeed, he was killed and sent to the great beyond. Rewane's assassination was greeted with condemnation from across the country and internationally. Notable among the international figures that condemned the assassination was Walter Carrington, the US ambassador to Nigeria at the time. 7 persons were later arrested in connection with the murder and taken into detention. The military frowned against the assassination and promised to bring the assassins to book. In a twist that also surprised the nation, 5 out of the 7 persons that were initially arrested died while in detention. The remaining 2 persons were freed for reason that the evidence against them were too weak. At the time of the making of this video in 2022, there is no record in Nigeria showing the conviction of anyone for the murder of Alfred Rewane. Rewane's murder therefore goes into the record as one of the many unresolved murder cases in the country and ranks in pari passu with the murder of Chief Bola Ige, Chief Dr. Marshall Harry, Chief Mrs. Kudirat Abiola, and many other cases of high-profile assassinations that occurred in Nigeria during the military era and at the early years of Nigeria's return to democracy. Born in Warri in present-day Delta State, Alfred Rewane grew up with his uncle, who was a deeply religious man. He taught the young Alfred the virtues of hard work, discipline, and honesty. Alfred attended the African School and also attended Dennis Memorial Grammar School, Onitsha. By providence, the young Alfred was spotted by the British-controlled United African Company, UAC, who instantly employed him and trained him in various aspects of the businesses of the company. He was posted to Lagos in a managerial capacity as a beach master at the Lagos Custom Wharf, where he did his utmost best for the success of UAC. After years of service without blemish, Alfred voluntarily retired from UAC and ventured into his private businesses and was very successful at them. He became a major exporter of cow bones, black pepper, and timber, and later invested heavily in flour and was the owner of live flour mills in Sapele, Delta State, Nigeria. Rewane was a gentleman by all reasonable standards. He was a good citizen, a successful businessman who contributed immensely to the GDP of the country. He was a role model in costumes and elegance. He was handsome, tall, shimmering, ebony black, and steadily at all times. Rewane will be missed by many for many more years to come. Thank you for watching this edition of Back in History, and do remember to subscribe to the channel for regular notifications.